Hello there. So I got a lot of requests for me to answer questions with a video. So here I am. Yeah, that's about all the intro that I really need. Let's go! Okay, our first question. What is your Snapchat? You don't want my Snapchat. I don't really use Snapchat well or often. I technically have one, but really it's no. If you want to see photos of me, that's what Tumblr is for. You're going to get more photos on Tumblr than you will on Snapchat. I post to my story maybe like once every like month. And yeah, if I do share a photo with someone on Snapchat, I also save it and put it on Tumblr. So yeah, you want Tumblr. If you want like a more like social media way to get in contact with me than through Tumblr, because its messaging system is shit. The best way to do that is to friend me on Facebook. It's Bearberly Crusher or Daniel Smith. So it's like Daniel Smith brackets Bearberly Crusher. So you can put search Bearberly Crusher and there I am. So just send me a message being like, hey, watch your video on Tumblr. You told me to friend you. And then I'll be like, confirm. And that way you can, see more of, my life other than just answering questions, and perhaps some more PG-13 photos that I might not think are worth Tumblr. But all the good ones are here. So if you just like my photos and you're like, well, I don't really care what he's like personally, then don't friend me on Facebook. Okay, second question. Your cock looks really good with that piercing. Thank you. I would show it now, except then I wouldn't be able to host this video on any website because they'd all be like, no nudity. So yes, I really like it. I have some thoughts about getting the PA that I'm probably going to put into a sort of post that will hopefully I will post publicly so that other people can learn from my experience, which has been actually quite good, but not what I expected. And I made a couple of mistakes, but yeah. That's life. I'm super happy with it. I'm actually already planning my upsize. So I already posted my photo of my first upsize, which is the 8 gauge circular barbell. Ooh. It's fuchsia and blurple, which are my two favorite colors for stuff like this. I'm really excited to have it in. I mean, my current PA is also fuchsia and blurple, but it's a circular, not circular, it's a captive bead ring, which is not nearly as hot in my opinion as the circular barbell. I also have a curved barbell, so that way I can put that in for rugby. I don't want to go without my piercing because it's still new and I don't want the hole to close up. But at the same time, don't want anything that could dangle and people be like, and it's like, and then I have flaps. So, curved barbell I can just tape up so that it's safe. And so I'm going to do that. Yeah. For my 6G upsize, I ordered that. It's not in yet. But what I got is I got a stainless steel circular barbell with rainbow balls at the bottom, which I think is going to be really cool and hot. So we'll see how that looks when I can actually fit into a 6G, which will probably be like late summer, sort of. Who knows? When my cock feels like it can handle 6Gs. Okay, what is a sexual fantasy that you have but you haven't actually acted on yet? So many. You have no idea. I am a very kinky person, and so, I mean, some of my fantasies are just, like, way too dangerous. Like, I'd love to asphyxiate someone to the point where they're, like, half passed out, and then fuck them, and that would be super hot. To really have that control over their life and death. But that's super dangerous. Like that level of asphyxiation, like, no, not going there. I do blood chokes a lot. Blood chokes are hot and much safer. I mean, like, my karate sensei gave me a blood choke when I was 13, and I'm just like, do that again, but with your cock in my ass. Yeah, so blood chokes I definitely do during sex, but actual like asphyxiation, step too far for me. I mean, other ones, sometimes you just see something, you're like, oh my god, that's hot, I want to do that. Pup Shutter just posted a photo of him like chemically knocking out another pup, and I think it was actually not. I think it was just play pretend. But like the idea of like using chloroform, just like good night. That's actually really hot to me, and I never thought about it until I posted that photo. I'm like, holy fuck, that's hot. But one that I think I might be able to do at some point, that I haven't done, that I've wanted to do forever, is I would love to have like a bareback bear orgy where my pup just gets bred by like all these tops, and they just put their load deep in his ass and then use the previous one's load as lube, and then I get to go last and just feel all the cum against my cock as I fuck him. As I slide my cock into his ass, just the cum sort of oozes out against me. And I am definitely hard now. Yeah. So that's really hot to me. I've never been able to do it because most of my fuck buddies are bottoms. And I am, for my own personal safety, I'm not particularly concerned. But the people that I play bear with, right now there's only 2, I'm very concerned about their safety. And for me, it's very important that I, don't expose them to risk. So I only play bear with those 2. So yeah, not going to happen anytime soon. Maybe if I actually can get on prep or find a whole bunch of people I trust somehow. But I can, I have lots of other fantasies I can, try out that I haven't done yet. So whatever. Do a clip of you wrestling a guy, especially using bear hugs and scissor holds. I could probably do that. I have one fuck buddy, my cub, who is very into wrestling. It is less my fetish. For me, it's really hot when a guy wants to submit. The idea that he needs to be owned, he needs to obey, he needs to serve and be used. That to me is super hot. When they're begging to be owned and abused and used, when they know they need your hand on their ass, making them cry so they'll be more obedient. That's fucking hot. The actual like forcing someone into submission, not so hot to me. And it feels just sort of like rapey to me, which is not a judgment for the people who do it, because there are certain parts of consensual non-consent that are hot to me, the whole knocking someone out, that just is really hot to me, which in a consensual non-consent scene, but the forcing someone into submission, not hot to me. Whatever. But yes, I've definitely wrestled before for fun. It's not like my favorite sport. I prefer rugby because rugby is much more about, actually the task is to hit someone, take them down, and sometimes pain happens, but it's not the goal. For wrestling, a lot of it is just my goal is to inflict pain until you give up. And that's just it doesn't get me excited to do it. Not in the same way I'm excited to hit someone in rugby. So it's not my favorite sport, but I do it. So I can probably do that clip. That was a very long answer to a yes or no question. But there you go. What phone do I use? Oh, it's charging over there, so I can't show it. I use the Nexus 6, which is a stock Android phone that has the OS by Google, basically, and no bloatware from the manufacturer, which pisses me off to no end. For work, I have a Samsung phone, and I just hate all the bloatware and the apps which are so atrocious. Why would you use... You spent money making this app, and it's shit. I hate every single Samsung app on that phone. And if I could root it, I would delete them all so that they would be gone. For now, I can install the actual Google apps for a lot of them and then just set them as the default so I don't have to use the atrocious Samsung ones. I don't understand why people like phones with all that bloatware. But people go for Samsung phones and they'd be like, oh wow, it has all these apps. But they're all shit. The stock Android is better. Well, whatever floats your boat, I suppose. So, yeah. That was another long answer. I apologize for being so long-winded. It's a Nexus 6. I got it after it was 2 years old. It was a new phone. It wasn't a used phone, but it's definitely an outdated phone. But it actually is perfect for my needs. It has 3 gigs of RAM, which is more than enough. has a good processor, lots of storage. So for me, the fact that it was 2 years old didn't really bother me. I wish I could have a Pixel just because I like taking photos of myself, and the Pixel has a much better camera. But, meh, whatever. I can't afford a Pixel. It's like $1,000. The Nexus 6 I got for about like $100, so it's a good price for a phone. What are some of my favorite songs? I have a lot of favorite songs. My taste in music is pretty eclectic, so they vary a lot. So I listen to a lot of show tunes, which is sort of a love I developed late in life. I didn't really start loving show tunes until I was like 27 or 28. But now I do. So some of my favorite show tunes are Feed Me, Get It. If You Can Find Me, I'm Here. What are some of my other ones? Oh God, I can hear it in my head, and now I'm just like, what's the song name? Okay, this is probably really boring for you. I've been just like, I have the words in my head, but I don't know what the song is called. You Can't Stop the Beat, that's it. So that one I really love. I really love Damn It, Janet. So love show tunes. I love weird songs. MacArthur Park is one of my favorite songs. I always sing at karaoke. I just get so emotional, like, all that sweet rain I sing flowing down. And I usually end it like falling on the floor crying. I love that song. Like a lot of Arrogant Worms, like Last Saskatchewan Pirate, really classic. So comedy songs are good with me just because I like singing along and sort of bouncing along with them. Let's see. I like a lot of chip tunes. Early Anamanaguchi has a lot of really great songs. I don't like a lot of their later stuff. Like after Meow, I was just sort of like, meh. I'm not sure exactly what changed, but their later songs don't do it for me. I like Roland and the Lamprey. That's really good by Glowmag. No one knows who that is. I like Bitshifter. No one knows who that is, unless you like chiptunes. Yeah, a lot of chiptunes. What else do I listen to a lot? I listen to a lot of romantic and Baroque music. I don't like the classical era very much, other than like Idomeneo, which I'm probably pronouncing wrong. Mozart mostly bores me. But like whereas like Bach and Grobner I think are very nice. And then classical era they just went too mathematical, and I can be like, that is technically very proficient, but it doesn't actually make me go, oh shit, yeah. The way that someone like Schubert or Beethoven could. And then later romantic slash. Yeah, I suppose I suppose so. I like Vivaldi also a lot. Yeah, classical era, other than a couple of the operas, don't really do much for me. Much more fan of Baroque and Romantic. Yeah. Okay, I'm forgetting a whole bunch of other genres. One favorite song that I should mention, because no one has heard of it, even people who like Canadian music, is Secret March, which is a fantastic song. It was really the only good song that the band has put out. All their other songs were like, Mr. Rimjob, 1999. It's like, and that's the whole song for like 4 minutes. Them just going, Mr. Rimjob, 1999. It's like, wow. That got old around the 10-second mark. But then they came up with this one song called Secret March, and I was just listening to CBC Radio 3, and I heard it, I'm like, oh my god, this is such an amazing song. It's very anthemy, it's a very marchy song. It's just about, it's a song that is literally about marching. And I find it always pumps me up when I'm feeling like shit. And like, I don't want to do anything, I'm burnt out, I hate life. And then I'm just like, once you get started again. So yeah, some of my favorite songs. Okay, now it's a person who's not anonymous. Phantom Rune said, he's in the mood for some Magic the Gathering porn. Exactly how large is your collection? Oh, I think I'm going to disappoint you. Uh, I played a lot of Magic the Gathering in middle school. From about revised to fifth, actually by fifth edition I had started to wane. So revised and fourth edition I played a lot. When fifth edition came out, I kind of stopped collecting just because I had other things I wanted to spend my money on. So I stopped collecting new cards a lot. I have a couple fifth edition cards, but not that many. Because really, Magic the Gathering is a very expensive habit. um, and I also found the game became more and more something that was ruined from its essence. I think that when you get to like revised, it's a very well crafted and well balanced game. The problem is, you don't make a lot of money by just being like, well, we made the game, now it's over. So every set, they come out with new and more powerful cards that then make you say, oh, I need to get these. The problem is, of course, that what was well balanced before is now very, very overpowered now. Playing with people who play Magic now, it's a lot of, unless you're playing with very strict rules and regulations about which cards you can use, you win in 2 turns. And it's either I win in 2 turns or don't get the cards I need and therefore you win in 2 turns. And that's not fun. I have a friend who plays professionally, and yeah, it's not fun playing with him. Even if if it doesn't matter, it's about just getting those cards to get that 2-turn win, and that's boring. Yeah, I still enjoy playing with actual revised cards. I think that's super fun. And so I do that sometimes. But when I stopped playing Magic, about when 5th edition came out, shortly after that, I gave away a lot of my cards. And so really what I have left is my 2 decks. My Pestilence deck and my Mana Burn deck, which is no longer any good because they got rid of Mana Burn. I didn't play Magic for a period of about 10 years. And then I went to play it. And it was like, okay, we're doing a multiplayer game. I'm going to use my Mana Burn deck. I'm going to destroy everyone with Mana Burn. This is going to be exciting. And then I brought out this card. They're like, Mana Burn? What's that? I'm like, you don't know what Mana Burn is? They're like, no, what's Mana Burn? And I'm like, well, when you tap a mana and you get mana into your pool, or you tap a land, you get mana into your pool and you don't spend it, then you take damage. And they're like, no, you don't. You don't anymore? And they're like, nope. And it's like, okay. Well, this deck is built around that. So I'm screwed. Actually, I ended up winning. Which was surprising. I mean, all the cards except for 4 still worked. Because I had 4 power surges in that deck. Which is, basically means that if you have untapped lands, you have to tap them. Which then gives you Mana Burn. And then I have a whole bunch of creatures that I can pump mana into, that therefore I don't take any Mana Burn, they do. And so the point of the deck is for me to use these creatures defensively, basically as I kill them with Mana Burn. And or if they, try to destroy their lands and don't have creatures, I can pump out creatures. And they are pretty powered because I can pump mana into them. But that didn't end up working. But apparently my creatures, because they were all flying, and then I had a couple of high-powered walls that I could just use defensively, and people weren't ready to handle that, so I won. My Pestilence deck was the one I used to play competitively in Ottawa, which is, of course, underpowered now for competitive, considering how powerful decks are, but still fun to play in sort of a casual game, or if we're going to play revised rules, which I enjoy, because I think the game was much better revised. So yeah. How large is my collection? Small. I apologize. And another, do I have Snapchat? Let's ignore that, because I already answered that. Jermaine2889 said, you're beautiful. Thank you. You're very sweet. Anonymous said, how ticklish are you, you gorgeous hunk of man? That's a complicated question. I am quite ticklish, but tickling me, you will likely be disappointed. I have a very, very good ability to sort of tune out things and to go into my happy place and just to center myself so that I am not aware of distractions. So this sometimes gets me in trouble where I'm just completely zoned out around my surroundings, and then things happen that I should actually notice, but I don't. I have, just been in my own thoughts and then almost walked into traffic many times. So, yeah. But being tickled, it means that you can tickle me and I'll be very ticklish, and then I just sort of be like, whoop, zen place. And I don't actually get tickled. So, if you want to tickle me, I suggest you get me drunk or high, and then I will likely be much easier to tickle. Otherwise, you'll probably go for my armpits. You'll be like, yee, tickling you. And I'll be like, happy place. Yeah. So, get me drunk first. I think that's it. So I can now delete these questions and I will post this video. So I hope you enjoyed and were not bored by me just talking. Which, if you got this far, you probably enjoyed it. So I'm glad you did. Have a good night.